Sean from SW Inspections here. Story time yet again. I recall not too long ago, I had an inspection for a gentleman not too far from my house. I believe we were doing a 4-point for him. And he was one of those guys that he made sure that you knew that he knew everything that he could about this house. You knock on the door, say hello to the client, and he says, hello. I confirm the information, confirm the ticket, make sure that we're doing the right thing for the right people. Okay, we're going to be looking at the roof, the HVAC, the plumbing, the electrical systems, age and condition. And he goes, oh yeah, this one's this old, this one's this old. So he told me the age of the roof, he told me the age of the AC system, the age of the house, the age of the electrical panel, and the age of the water heater. So I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the outside. I'll be back in a few minutes. And I do my thing. I put a drone up for the roof, open up the electrical panel, look at the water heater, look at the HVAC equipment, all the fun stuff, confirm the age of the house. And I go over to where this guy's sitting. He's sitting next to his wife watching TV, a retired couple. And I said, hey, you said the roof was this old. He goes, yeah. I said, well, the document that we have says that it's not. It's like 6 or 8 years older than what he said. What? I often get this from people. You tell them what they should already know, and their response is confusion. I guess that's a good way to put it. And I tell them, well, you said the electrical panel was this old, and it's not. I can see from the documentation it's this old. Wait, what? You said the air conditioning was this old, and well, here's the sticker on the unit. It says it's this old, which was probably 5 years older than he said it was. Oh my God. And oh, by the way, your water heater's significantly older than you thought it was, and it's leaking. What? It's not leaking. And I just kind of stood there for a second, wondering what to do next. I mean, he didn't ask me a question, so he stands up and he goes, it's not leaking. He rushes over to the water heater, and it's sitting in a pan, and the pan's got this much water in it. Oh, crap. And I'm not trying to make fun of this guy. This is really common. I walk into people's houses every single day, and they don't know how old the systems are. Especially considering the fact that these are the systems that you depend on every single day to live. It just strikes me that people don't take the time to learn about the systems that they depend on, to understand where they are, what they do, how old they are, how long they should last. I get that I do this every single day, but not knowing the age or the location or the condition of the systems of your house, the one that you live in, to me is just the greatest mind. And this is extremely common. At least several times a week, I will say something like, okay, well, your roof was permitted this day and this time, so it was put on this year. And they're like, wait, what? It's almost like COVID, because we're in 2026 now. COVID made people lose 2 or 3 years, so everybody's subtracting 2 or 3 years from the systems inside their homes for some reason. So people think that their roof was replaced 3 years ago when really it was 6 or 7. Extremely common. I had one the other day where we couldn't find the water heater. We just couldn't find it. It was a manufactured home, so sometimes they tuck them away in weird places, and this was one of those things. So we call the owner. She's out of town or something, so her friend is giving us access to the house, and we say, hey, where's your water heater? And she goes, I don't know. We eventually find it. It's in a hall closet behind a panel. Like I said, manufactured homes, they kind of put them more in strange places. But just the fact that woman did not know where her water heater was is extremely troubling to me. How are you supposed to take care of the biggest investment in your life, the thing that you depend on, the roof over your head, the food in your fridge, the air conditioning that keeps you hot or cold, the water heater that gives you hot water so you can bathe, the electrical system that gives you power? How can you not know where these systems are and have at least a basic knowledge of what they do? And I think that speaks to a larger problem that we have. And I don't know if this is international, but it's certainly here in Florida, where people just, they don't seem to want to care. They don't seem to want to be curious. And as somebody who's spent my life looking at these kinds of things and trying to make sure that I understand how they work, it fascinates me because we depend on them. As somebody who does those things, it's very troubling to me. So, a piece of advice from a home inspector that's been doing it for 10 years. You should know where the systems that you depend on every single day are, how old they are, and if they're in good shape. If you don't know those things, you are a mark for being taken advantage of by a bad contractor. Because they could literally tell you anything. You could have a rusty part on the top of your water heater, and instead of just replacing the $13 part, you're in for $2,500 to replace the entire thing. Because you didn't know how a water heater works or where it is. Knowledge is power, people. Do yourself a favor. Figure out where your water heater is. Figure out where your electrical panel is. Figure out where your AC equipment is. Figure out how old the systems are in your home. Look underneath your sinks every once in a while. Look at the things that you depend on every single day. Because if you don't, you call a guy like me and I show up and you tell me that everything is fine and I tell you, no, everything is wrong.